Hi, I'm Debbie Jenkins, and today we're going to have a look at low content and IP claim short books. Let's have a look what they are first of all. Let's get started. What are we talking about? We're talking about those types of books that are very simple. They don't have much content in them, perhaps less than 5,000 words. And you'll have probably come across lots of them before, and you'll probably be wondering, how do I get to do one of those? Some of the most obvious ones that you might have seen are the things like it's sort of very old, and this is going to sort of show you how old I am. This is one I found out this morning when I was looking at it. This is Anthony Robbins, not even Tony Robbins, his Personal Power 2. It's a very low content book. It goes with his video series, but what it provides is a bit of an explanation and then lots of places for the reader to fill in the differences. You will have come across these books all over the place. One of my favourites is the Daily Stoic Journal. The content comes from the user, comes from you, comes from me. But Ryan Holiday cleverly puts in a bit of content, so he gives you some information about the Stoics as well, and then leaves the rest for you to fill in yourself. You will have come across these books all over the place, like Diaries, and can't really get much more low content than that, can you? So let's have a quick look at what we're actually talking about here. We're talking about workbooks and summary books. So if you provide a workshop or a real full book, and you want to give it a companion book, a workbook, or a summary book, this is a great way of doing them. Also, manifestos. For example, you've got this idea of getting your intellectual property, your idea out there, and you want to protect that, then you could write a manifesto type book. You can do journals and diaries like the ones I've just shown you. You can do quotes type books, cheat sheets. So perhaps you've got a list of cheat sheets that you can provide for clients. Your process visuals, if you're a consultant or a marketer, then you've probably got lots of tools and techniques and process visuals that you take your clients through. You could provide all of those in a low content book. Maybe you've done a slide deck for clients and you want to actually give them something physical to take away at the end of business with them. So here's an example of one that we're talking about now. This is an example of how you can do it very simply and really quite low cost. So this is my prototype version, and it's my little book of big decisions. Okay, and there's content in there, and then there's spaces to write stuff. There's spaces for the user to put their content in. This book came about from an article I wrote and sent out to my newsletter list, and I got lots of really interesting and good feedback. I've got a very small list. Not lots of people read, but the people who do read are the people I want in my audience, and they gave me great feedback about one article about making decisions, and then I turned that information and that idea into a short book, a low content short book. This is the prototype version. I'll talk more about prototyping soon. Okay, so do you want to have a quick look at how showing you the visual of it? Here are some sample pages. These are the types of pages that you might want to put in your low content book. So you might want to put some content in, low content, but not necessarily no content. So here's an example of a page in my little book of big decisions. You want to put perhaps some pages in for that reader to fill in their details. So maybe diary type pages, or in my case, decision type pages. You might want to put some images in, so perhaps you've drawn some diagrams or some sketches. You can include those diagrams and sketches too. You might want to demonstrate some of your own fallibility. I make a lot of stupid decisions, and I share some of those in my book. And obviously you want to put some copyright in there, because one of the best reasons for writing and producing and creating a low content book is to protect your IP, protect your idea. So you obviously want to put a copyright page in there. So why should you do it? Well, there's probably quite a few personal reasons that you might want to do this. I'm going to cover a few of them now quite quickly. One is to clarify your thinking. The article that I wrote that got lots of feedback was quite, it was just my first thoughts, my first ideas. It was my chaotic thinking, and I threw it out there. To write the book and to actually produce something that's a bit more detailed needed me to clarify my thinking. So it helped me clarify my thinking. as I said before, it's to stake a claim to your IP. Perhaps you've got a model or a methodology for doing something, or a manifesto, and you want to stake a claim to that IP, and you want to get your name on it first. Then there's nothing really better than a physical product, a physical book with your name on it. You might also want to use it and send it as a PDF as a gift. So perhaps at the end of a speech, or whatever you're up to, you might want to have a gift that you can send to your clients. It's a way of getting something physical out there. Now, if you're at the beginning of your journey as a consultant or a mentor, as an expert, you perhaps don't have any physical products out there yet. You're just selling you. This is a way of getting something out there now. And it's a lot faster than writing and publishing a full book. You might be in the throes, the muddy, dirty water and the chaos of writing your real book. And this, you can get this out there quite quickly. In fact, I wrote that and created the draft version, the prototype version, in less than a day. So it gives you an opportunity to do rapid prototyping of an idea. So I got that out there in a day. The reason why it's got this special on here in Amazon, because it's not for, this version of it wasn't for sale on Amazon. This was my own prototyping version. Only I could see it. And it wasn't for resale. So this gave me the opportunity to prototype my idea really quickly. It was out in a day. It was back to me within a week. And then why should you do it? It's a slightly different emphasis now. Well, you should really do it for marketing purposes, because if you're an expert or a thought leader, if you're a mentor or a coach, you're out there with your ideas, then you need to market yourself. This gives you something in Amazon immediately. Within, as soon as you get it live, it goes live on Amazon. It's there, it's physical, it exists, somebody could buy it. And you know what? Amazon is one of the biggest search engines, so you've probably been focusing your attention on Google. And if you haven't already got a book out there, then this gives you a fast way to get your name out there in Amazon, which is a huge search engine. It also gives you a product to sell in your pipeline. Now, your pipeline, I've got a pipeline that has free items in it, and it has low-cost paid items in it, and then it has the Buy Me, by Deb as a coach and consultant in it. You've probably got a similar pipeline. Now, this is a low-cost product that costs you very little to create and to produce, but it gives you a physical product, and it puts something in your pipeline, and it gives you a contact point with potential clients. You can also use it as an asset for speaking gigs. So imagine you're speaking and you want to increase the fee. Then you can say, well, buy 100 copies of my book. It costs you $2.50 to produce. We'll come about costs later. And they can buy it for £10 per book and make £7.50 profit for your speaking gigs. Or you can sell it at the back of the room. Same sort of pricing, and you stand at the back of the room, people come up to you at the end, want you to even sign it. And you can also use it, and one of the reasons why I've done it is as a physical gift to clients. I was creating I was on Etsy.com sending out clients personalized notebooks. I love personalized notebooks. I love personalization. Well, this now is a physical gift to clients, and I can personalize it, but that's a sneaky little trick that I'll tell you about later. Oh my God, lots of sneaky tricks. Here's my next sneaky trick. It's also as a lead generator, because it gets into the Amazon search engine. It gets your name in there, and there's a sneaky trick that you can do in the opening pages, which I'm going to explain to you later. Okay, so who should do it? If you're a thought leader, your business is your thinking and your ability to think and provide information for others. If you're a consultant, if you get out there and you help people do their business, if you're a trainer or you're a mentor, then all of you people, you should really have one of these types of books quickly out there in Amazon now. In fact, anybody who has intellectual property that needs to be shared and claimed should make one of these little books. So what are the steps? What do you need to do? Well, step one is work out the why. So why are you making this little book, and why? What's in it for the reader? So why for you? So is it a lead generator? Is it for speaking gigs? Is it for giving to a client? And why for the reader? What will they get out of reading the book? So mine is it helps them make better decisions, or at the minimum, it helps them track the decisions they're making and perhaps not keeping. So you need to work out your why. You need to decide on the what's going to actually be in the book, and what type of book you're going to do. Is it going to be a quotes book? So what type of quotes are you going to include? Is it going to be a diary type book or a journaling type book? So how are you going to do that? How are you going to add the content? What content are you going to add? Then you need to do the design. This is in two parts: the interior, so the pages inside the book, and the cover. So once you've decided on the why you're doing it and the what you're going to do, then you need to design it. Now, in a later video, I'm going to show you how to do this in lots more detail. But for now, know that all you need to be able to do is use PowerPoint or Google Slides, and you can use a cover generator on Amazon if you're really stuck for design. You need to produce it. I keep saying Amazon. Amazon is one of the methods, and it's the fastest and cheapest because there's zero cost to entry to actually get started with Amazon. But there are alternatives, and I can discuss those in later videos. But the next step is to produce something and prototype it. So this is my prototype. Now I'm getting feedback on it. I've got lots of notes of how I want to change it, what extra things I want it to do before I make it available to the general public. Typos, spellings, things that I did wrong, things that I want to add extra, new ideas. So that rapid prototype that was done in a day, and now I can get feedback from other people. I've shown it to people and I've got feedback from them too. And that leads you back into the design. So once you've produced a prototype, you go back into design and you fix the things that you've identified. And then the final step is actually use it, because just making it and then sitting it on your desk or only showing it to your mum or your best friends, not a good use of your time. So you need a marketing plan for how you're going to use it. And then once you've done that, you're going to find that you want to do it again. The next one that I'm doing is the little book of big excuses. Okay, so what's it going to cost us? Let's get down to the details. What's it going to cost? Well, it depends on you, really. On Amazon, as I say, it's free to set up. There are alternatives, and they cost a little to set up. And it depends on the size of the book that you do. This is a kind of a cool size, but if you wanted to do a workbook that perhaps has bigger spaces for drawing, you might create a bigger size. So whilst it's free to set up, the unit cost, the cost per book, depends on the size of the book and how many pages. Obviously, there is a cost. It takes your time. Even if you're outsourcing it, you're going to have to put some time and energy and effort in there. So there's that cost that you need to consider too. So you need to calculate that when you're calculating your whether you want to do it or not. And you might need help. If you need help, then that's going to cost. Now you can get cover designs. You can get, we're not talking, it doesn't have to be the most beautiful cover. It has to be a professionally designed cover. It has to look professional because it has to be out there as an ambassador for you, so it has to look good, but it doesn't have to be magic or amazing. And you can get good cover designs for about 50 quid on lots and lots of different outsourced type websites, and I can help you refine those right as well. In the interior, you can probably do most of that yourself, and then perhaps get a designer to tot it up a bit. Okay, so when should you do it? Well, now maybe, because you can be very creative with this and you can get really excited. I got really excited on the first day when I decided I was going to do it, and I did it in a day, and now I haven't. And then it took me quite a while to actually get around to fixing the mods because I was so busy. So your creation, in my opinion, is only constrained by your imagination, time, money, and art, or effort. So when should you do it? Now, maybe. You might decide to put it into the next quarter or next month, or when your main book comes out. But I really do think that now is a good time. So how can you get it done? The simplest way is doing it yourself. I'm going to do your follow-up video in the Chaos to Creation cache, and you're going to have more details of how to do it. So I'm going to take you through the do-it-yourself steps. I'm also producing a full course, and the full course is going to take you detailed step by step. So the DIY version is for those of you who are pretty handy with Google Slides or PowerPoint. You're quite confident getting stuff done, and you're quite confident getting it all done. The full course is going to help you do it step by step. I'm going to show you all the details and the sizes, the page numbers, how to input the course on Amazon, etc. You can also get it done for you. Obviously, you're still going to need to put the effort in because the IP or the idea is yours. But I can recommend people who can help you with it, or you can find somebody on Upwork to help you get it done. Okay, so what should you do next? Well, make a decision. Make a decision that you're going to do this book. And then you need to write it in your little book of big decisions. And you know what? You can get that on Amazon. But you really do need to take the next step. If the first next step, if the first next step is decide, then make that decision now. Put a time to it, put a date to it, and then let me know. If you just want some accountability, pop me a message and I'll remind you when you haven't actually done it. But it's really important that you decide and then take an action on it. You might decide not to do it. That's okay too, but you have to decide. If you want more detailed and you want to find the explainer videos and how to actually get the steps to take to get this done, go and have a look in the Chaos to Creation cache, and you can sign up at Expert Author Academy. See you on the next video.